Hi guys, this is Denise Mathew, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make a flower necklace. What I'm going to be using is some broken chain or leftover bits of chain that you might have, and just adding some stones and really making a brand new necklace with it. I hope you enjoy it. Now, if you do have a chain that you're using that's already pre-made, when you're cutting your chain, you want to make sure that, just imagine that this is a clasp, you want to make sure that you have about sort of an inch on both sides from your clasp. You don't want to sort of touch the clasp at all, okay? So what we need to do now is just, you're going to measure your chain, and this is really a personal preference. You can decide how long you want the lengths. I mean, of course, if you're going to use longer lengths, you're going to use less flowers in between. But if you want more clusters of flowers, you use smaller lengths. So I'm going to go about 2 inches. Now, in order to get it perfectly even, what you might want to do is, now I do this if I'm sort of making a gift for somebody or something like that. I will actually count the links in between rather than just relying on the ruler, because the ruler is good, but you know, when you're working with chain that's fairly fine, it can really make a difference by just a few links. So I've got 2 2-inch chain pieces here, and then just keep cutting. And really what you're going to do is, once you have your chain lengths, you're going to want to know how many you're going to need. So what you're going to do is you're going to keep in mind that your chain is going to have your flowers in between, and the flowers will take up, you know, according to how big your beads are. So, you know, you would just measure it, be about, you know, ½ an inch or thereabouts. And then after that, you want to make sure you keep your clasp involved as well. So when you do that, if you add those all together, you'll have sort of an idea of how many links and how many clusters you'll need in between to make a certain length chains. And as you go, the good thing to do would be to measure, you know, how much you have, so you're getting close to where you are. You're going to do a 90-degree angle, and you're just going to go right around your round nose pliers. And then before you do anything, you're going to thread a piece of chain to that link. All right, and then grab hold of the link, and then just wrap around, wrap the wire around so that it's closing it up and it's keeping your wire in place. Okay, so once that's done, just make sure all the wires are tucked in. So now you're just going to thread 2 beads on. So 1, okay, and once the 2 beads are on, you're just going to take your pliers and just going to bend it like this. Okay, so this is what you have. All right, then you're going to take another piece of chain and you're going to thread that on to that space, and then you're going to put your next 2 beads on. And then just bring that down, that wire, and trying to keep your chain out of the way. See, so you have this so far. You're going to take your chain and you're going to take your wire, and you're just going to wrap it without catching that. So just hold that in your fingers and just maybe go right underneath it like that. That way you're not catching your chain, because you don't want to catch your chain. Okay, so just wrap it around once. This is basically just to secure it, and then just maybe again just to make sure. And that's going to be just the toughest part, is just trying to keep the chain out of the way. But then once that's done, you're good. So you just trim it, and so then you would have this sort of thing. Okay, and I'll do another one to show you. So just start again with a closed loop. Just do a 90-degree angle. You're going to go right around your round nose pliers. You're going to slide it onto the chain that you already have going. Either end doesn't really matter. Okay. Then once it's there, you can close it up. Grab hold of it and then close it up. And then once it's closed up, make sure that everything is nice and tight. Okay. And then you're going to thread on your next 2 beads. One thing you want to do when you get those first 2 beads on is to, when you bend it down, just really kind of make these 2 beads that are pushed up against the right against the loop, okay, as much as you can, and then you can bend it, and that will hold it in place. This way it will keep your flower in a better shape. Slide your next piece of chain on. Okay, next 2 beads on. And then, as you did before, you're going to pull it right over like this. There's your loop. You're going to go right on this part of the area, and then just keeping your chain out of the way, just wrap it around. And you can use your fingers for this, but make sure that everything is sort of tight before you start wrapping, because it will come out of place a little bit if you don't. Keep it nice and tight. Okay, so now that that's like that, okay, I'll just show you so you can have a better look. So this is what we have. Now just take your wire and then just kind of wrap it around, again keeping that chain out of the way, and that's just to secure it. And then trim it, and then of course you're going to check all your wires, make sure that there's no rough bits out. And then you're going to keep doing that until you get the full necklace, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. When you're ready to, you have the length that you want, you're just going to finish your chain, and you're just going to leave the chain lengths the same 2 inches or whatever length you started with at the ends here, and then this would be where you're going to add your, you're going to put your clasp and your jump ring and so forth. This concludes the tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, subscribing, and sharing. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.